So tonight, the first part is a guided meditation. And to do this, it's not very difficult, but you just sort of have to listen to me. And I'll guide you through it. I'll guide you into a calm energy and presence where you're able to follow the guided meditation. And everybody usually is able to. Sometimes those people have these day-to-day things like, oh my God, I got to get milk that keeps coming in as you're trying to get into that calm state. What you need to do is just acknowledge it. So, okay, I know I need milk, back off, and it usually does, as once you acknowledge it. If you just ignore it, it just keeps coming up over and over and over again. So acknowledge it, it should move on. If you find it difficult to visualize everything, that's okay. Not all of us are visual people. Perfectly fine. Just go with it. You'll get what you need out of the meditation, so it's not a problem that way. For the meditation, I have no idea what it's going to be. The only part I know is the beginning, the grounding, protection. That's all I know. The rest I just channel directly from spirit, and it's unique every time. So it's as much fun for me as it is for you. When we do it, you can lie down, you can sit down, whatever you're comfortable with. It doesn't matter. If you do decide to lie down, try to stay awake if you can. You get more out of it if you're kind of conscious. But regardless to whether you sit or you lie down, no body parts crossed, because that does impede your flow of energy and to do the meditation and to get the most out of it, best if that's flowing. So during the beginning, I'm going to ask you to take deep breaths in. Now, these deep breaths are going to be, if you can imagine, you're taking a breath from underneath your belly button. That's where you're breathing from. Okay, so when I ask you to take a deep breath, just imagine it's from there, and it'll be a deep, not from up the upper chest, the lower. And I'm going to ask you to hold the breath. When we get to doing the squeeze, you'll hold your breath until I tell you to release it, and you'll squeeze all your body parts. We do the squeeze 3 times. And it really facilitates a calmness and a settledness, and helps you release any tensions that you might be holding in your body. We all do, and most of us aren't aware of it. It's a great way to purge it. I don't do it because I'm telling you what to do, but I always feel that residual release from everybody at the end. So I benefit from it too. Okay. So you can turn your screens on, leave them off. Whatever you want, it does not matter to me. Whatever your comfort level is fine. And I'm the only one that's hopefully the only one that's going to have their eyes open anyway. So comfortable positions. Okay, so again, just do your best to follow along. Sometimes people get ahead of me. They're intuitive enough and they get ahead of me. That's okay too. There's no right or wrong way of doing this, as long as you're open, and that's all that really. Okay, so everybody, let's start taking those deep breaths in from underneath your belly. So strong breath in, and just when you exhale, do a strong, focused exhale with the intent of releasing any stress, worries, or concerns that you might have in your life at the time. Let them flow out with these strong exhales that you're doing. So deep breath in, deep breaths out. Do this for a couple more times. Okay, so when I count to 3, we're going to do our first repetition of the squeeze, which again, as a reminder, is you're going to tense up. You're going to take a strong inhale, hold it, and you're going to squeeze every muscle in your body as tightly as you can. If you have an injury, obviously try to work around that. Don't want to hurt yourself further, but it's going to be very strong, squeezing together. Then I'll tell you to release. You'll do a couple more normal breaths, and then we'll do 2 more repetitions. So on the count of 3, everybody will take in that deep breath. So 1, 2, 3. Let's take that strong inhale and hold it. And do the squeeze. I want to see crinkly faces. Squeeze, hold it, hold it, hold it. Squeeze, squeeze, tight, 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 tight. Let it go. Normal breath in. With a normal breath out. Normal breath in. Normal breath out. When I count to 3 again, we're going to do the next repetition of the squeeze. So 1, 2, 3. Everybody take that deep breath in, hold it, and squeeze tight. tight. All the muscles, tight, tight, tight. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Let go. Beautiful. Normal breath in. Normal breath out. Normal breath in. Normal breath out. When I count to 3 again, we're going to do a final repetition of the squeeze. Make this one count. This is going to let go of all that tension you're holding in your body. So on the count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Strong inhale, hold it, squeeze, tight, tighter than the last 2. Tight, tight, really work it. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Let it go. Normal breath in. Normal breath out. Normal breath in. Normal breath out. It's perfectly normal at this beginning stage. You might find yourself yawning. You might find that your eyes start tearing. You might find, that you start feeling maybe a little, all perfectly normal, nothing to worry about. Okay, so now we're going to begin the grounding. So we're going to bring down the first bubble. So I want you to visualize that you're sitting in the bottom of a huge, large, soapy, iridescent bubble. This bubble is floating about a foot off the ground, and you're just chilling at the bottom. And as you're sitting in the bubble, it begins to fill with white light. Allow this white light to fill the bubble. And as it does, you breathe this white light into your body, where it proceeds to go to every cell, working its magic and healing and calming. So allow yourself to breathe this beautiful protective energy into your body as it fills up the bubble. Breathe it in. And with each breath, you become more relaxed, more centered and focused on my voice. Breathe this energy in. Now we're going to bring down what I call the mirror bubble. So visualize an even larger bubble made of seamless mirrors, gently floating down and surrounding the first bubble that you're sitting in. Now it's important to note that the reflective side of the mirrors are facing outwards, away from you. And the reason this is if any energy comes towards you that you do not want in your personal experience, it'll be reflected away from you and it won't affect you. So this bubble settles on the other, and it too begins to fill with white light. Allow that white light to flow into your bubble. Continue breathing that white light in. It may feel a little different than the first energy from the first bubble. Keep breathing it in. And as you do, you begin to notice white colored roots growing down from the bottom of the bubble. These roots gently grow downward, dancing across the surface of the earth. And very gently they penetrate the earth and begin their downward descent towards the heart of Mother Earth. As these roots flow down, grow down, down, down into the earth, they begin to pull up the energy of the earth. Let that energy flow into your bubble. And at the same time, as they're flowing downwards, you also notice that some grow upwards into the bubble. And they cover your legs, just like a nice cozy blanket, keeping you nice and secure and safe and protected. So continue breathing in the strong energy from the earth. Breathe it in. And as you do, those roots continue growing down, down, down towards the heart of Mother Earth. And before long, in a blinding flash of light, the roots connect and wrap around the heart of Mother Earth. And that energy comes up into your bubble at a rapid pace, filling the bubble. This is very strong, protective energy, supporting energy. This energy from the heart of Mother Earth literally feels like a giant bear hug from Mother Earth. This energy gives you confidence. It empowers you to tackle anything. So breathe this energy in. It's wonderful energy. Now we're going to bring down the last bubble, which I call the divine bubble. So once again, you're going to visualize a larger bubble yet again, floating down from above, encapsulating the bubbles you're currently sitting in. Once again, white energy begins to flow into the bubbles, but this time it's from the source of all that is. Once again, as this fills you, it fills the bubble you're in, you begin to breathe that white energy of the source into your body, where it relaxes you further, calms your mind, and allowing you to be in the moment of now. This energy is very spiritual. It's enlightening energy, and it makes you feel happy and content. This energy from the source of all gives you a sense of coming home, of being loved and celebrated for the unique, wonderful person that you are. Continue breathing this bubble, this light and energy from your bubble. Breathe it in. Now we're going to begin the guided part of the meditation. Again, do your best to stay awake and just follow along and have fun. This is supposed to be a fun thing. So as you're sitting in your bubble, you begin to get a little restless because you're sitting in a bubble and you've been sitting part of the day and you just want to get up. So you take out a great big pin and you poke the bubble and it breaks into a million little bubbles. But you're still floating a foot off the ground on just kind of like a tile of the bubble that's still there. As these other bubbles float all around you, dancing around. They don't dissipate, they just sort of dance around you. And as you're enjoying them, you may blow on a couple of them and you watch them float away a little bit, but then they come back towards you again. And it's kind of playful. You stick your hand out and you kind of try to pop a couple, but they're not poppable. So they just land on you and they just kind of exist. They're just there. And you're sitting in the wonder of all these bubbles floating around you, touching you, under you, over you. And you begin to notice that they begin to move. But not too far away from you. They all kind of collectively come in front of you. And they start doing a spinning motion, kind of like a funnel before you. And you're looking at all these bubbles dancing together in this kind of funnel. And as it does, you notice that they get bigger. And as they get bigger, they start merging. And as they merge, they begin to take form of some sort of a spiritual being, just an iridescent being of white light made out of all of these bubbles. And you're watching as this spiritual being, this helper that's come forth tonight, standing or floating in front of you, begins to materialize. And in awe, you watch it. And you start feeling a strong sense of connection to this spiritual being. In fact, some of you may know who it is, or perhaps this could be someone that you just meeting the first time. There's no right or wrong. It's just your experience. And as you're sitting there on this platform, watching this spiritual being manifest before you, you begin to feel a tingling in your head, especially in the third eye area, which is also called the third eye chakra, which is located just above the eyebrows in approximately the center of your forehead. So your third eye chakra in your head begins to tingle. It's pleasant, but nonetheless it begins to tingle. And you notice a cord beginning to form coming out of your third eye area, floating upwards and connecting to what would be your helping spirits third eye area, though you may or may not be able to see a face, but it connects in that area of the helping spirit who stepped forward. It's pleasant, it's not invasive, and you begin to feel this loving, supportive energy floating towards you. These thoughts of love begin to flow around you and enter your mind. You might feel a whiteness, a lightness as this exchange happens, and it's very pleasant. And then you notice, as this continues, that the spiritual helper stretches out what would appear to be energetic arms made of this bubbly type energy. With both arms and hands stretched out before you, you hear a thought in your mind, take my hands. And you do. You feel perfectly safe and comfortable with this helping spirit. You take their hands and you feel a little jolt of electricity, energy between the two hands as you take their hand. Again, not unpleasant at all, just tingly. And they help you to stand. And you do, and you are way shorter than them. Way shorter. They're probably 3-4 feet taller than you, and that's okay. But you feel the protective nature of this helping spirit. And then you hear them say, come with me. And before you know it, you are no longer where you were. You are up, standing with this being on a cloud. Way up. In the distance, you can see planes going about their business. It's very pleasant. The sky is vibrant blue. A few other clouds. Just a normal day, except you're standing here on a cloud with your helping spirit. All is well. And they encourage you to look down at the earth. And some of you might have a little hesitation about doing that, but they assure you through your mind, you're safe. There's no way you can fall, and to trust them. They've got you. So you kind of take a step towards the edge of the cloud and you peer down. And where you are, you're looking down on the city, town, continent, whatever it is for you, at the lushness of the earth below you. You can't obviously make out people or buildings. You can just see more small things, but you recognize where you are. And as you're looking down, you notice a glow emanating from where you are. As you look down, the town, the city is glowing. But as you look further in amusement, you notice there's little specks, we'll call them specks of darkness, floating around here and there. They're kind of random, but the majority of what you see is just beautiful white emanating light from the area you're looking upon. And what you hear coming through into your mind is your helping spirit says this, beloved one, you now have an elevated perspective of all that is. Though your life has challenges, as all beings do, there's more light in your life and others' lives. As you see, as you were looking downwards from your vantage point, life is primarily light and love, with our human experience mixed in it, that sometimes taints how we perceive the reality of what is. But from here, you have a wonderful vantage point and you can see things more clearly. He says, come with me. And the next thing you know, you are up outside of the earth, glancing down at earth in its whole entirety. It's a beautiful, beautiful spectrum. All that blue, the land, it's beautiful. There's no planet quite like it, you were told. And once again, you're encouraged to look more closely at the earth. And once again, you see almost like an energy surrounding the earth, primarily light. Again, in certain places in the earth, there's flecks of darkness floating around. But you once again hear that is part of the human experience on earth, that there will have to be some experiences that perhaps are less pleasant than others. They're needed. If we did not have this in our lives, we would not know to appreciate all the beauty and goodness that comes to it. So both balance each other so you can appreciate the good more readily. And yes, you hear there are areas in the world, there's a lot of chaotic things going on. But again, as you look down in the entirety of the planet Earth, you notice very few specks of this darkness. Mostly white, mostly light, and all from love. This is a wonderful, wonderful gift you're being given. A new perspective for a new year. See 2023 from a different vantage point in all the experiences that come your way. You can change your perspective easily if you choose. Now you know that all experiences are necessary to balance each other in different ways to enhance your life. And you feel comforted by this knowledge. It feels right, resonates. In your heart area, it feels expansive with this knowledge you're given. Now I want you to take a moment as you're there with this wonderful helping spirit that stepped forward tonight and have a dialogue in your mind with them. And they encourage you. They say, my child, let's talk about one thing that bothers you in life the most, that you can't let go. But you're reminded you don't have to feel the pain. Perhaps it's associated with this. In fact, you're encouraged not to. Again, so you can see, perhaps from this new vantage point, a solution that looks more like the beautiful whiteness that primarily the earth is made of. One topic. And if there's nothing that you need to talk about that way, well, just talk about whatever you would like with this helping spirit. So I'm going to give you a few minutes, no topics off bounds, and just be aware of anything that comes into your mind or into your awareness for that fact. And just know that this experience is truly happening. And this loving spiritual being is here for you tonight to offer guidance and insight into anything you might want to converse about. So I'm going to give you a few minutes and then I'll come back to you. And as you spend this time with this wonderful spiritual being, you look down once again on the earth. And as you look, you notice that there's less dark spots than there was the first time. And that's a wonderful thing. Just this meditation alone and you seeing things from a different elevated perspective changed the dynamic of what's going on in our planet. So what you're encouraged to do, and we're going to do this collectively, is I want you to visualize, well, actually, let's correct that. Your helping spirit just handed you a basket of energy. It looks like a basket, a wicker basket of white, though it's made of energy. And as you look inside this, it seems to be filled with, well, let's call it pixie dust. Sparkly, white, iridescent, reflective little sprinkly things. And you hear the helping spirit say, place both hands in the basket of sparklies, we'll call them. And you do. And now they asked you to think of an experience of utter joy, something you've experienced that brought great love and happiness in a feeling. Can be anything, but it just fills your heart to remember whatever the experience is. And as you recall the wonderful experience, you notice as you focus on your heart area, it begins to expand. And this loving energy that you're experiencing, this happy memory you're experiencing, that energy begins to radiate outwards, surrounding the basket. And you notice that the dust in the basket begins to gently start moving, fluttering around, still within the basket, and it becomes even brighter as you feed it with this loving thought, this experience of happiness. And you begin to feel profound gratitude. And this too begins to flow into the basket. And the basket sparkles begin to flutter more. Expanding. And you're encouraged to throw that sparkly glitter downward onto the earth. That's what you do. You take a handful and you scatter it like confetti. And you put your hand in the basket and you throw more. And you watch it begin to float downwards towards the earth, increasing in size. It sparkles brighter. It floats downwards to the earth, into the atmosphere. And you become aware from your vantage point that every person's sparkly energy that they're sending down is merging together, creating almost like a sparkle blanket, but not quite so solid. And as all of our energies merge, these loving, happy thoughts of gratitude, they expand and grow. And you continue to throw that sparkly stuff out. And this begins to continue coming down. And as you watch our collective effort, this sparkly energy blanket surrounds and completely covers the earth with love, positivity, gratitude, contentment. And you feel good giving that, being that. And once again, you're encouraged to look down at the earth. And as you do, it's all sparkling. And you, as an individual, your energy reaches everyone. Every single thing you do ripples out and in one way or another can influence the entire world, as you just did. So keep your thoughts happy. Keep your thoughts elevated. Remember, the world is a wonderful place. Try to remember that when the next thing that's less pleasant comes into your life, when you have to go through. Remember the bigger picture and how one little person can affect so many. And it pays forward over and over and over again. As you affect one, the other affects, and so on and so forth. We have that much power. It's given to us. Feel that expansive love completely surrounding you. And you're being encouraged to take some of that sparkly pixie dust and stuff it into your pocket or your purse. Stuff it in. Take some for yourself for when you have a moment where you're disillusioned with life. And just pretend you're sparkling, putting it on, that sparkly stuff all over you. Coating yourself like that blanket on the earth, protecting you from maybe those experiences you don't want to be having. Take as much as you want. And as you start stuffing it into your pockets and your purse or whatever, you notice it's sort of, you can't contain it. And it goes into your pocket, but it also completely surrounds you. So you're just covered in pixie dust, sparkly, iridescent, loving pixie dust. And you radiate. So taking your spirit helper's hands once again, as it's time for us to go back, and poof, you are now back in your bubble, the platform, and they're still standing in front of you. And you hear them say, although they for the moment will dissolve the cord, you will forever be attached. They are forever there for you. Should you need them, call on them. Do not hesitate. There's an awful lot of unemployed helping spirits out there just looking to help us. They invite you to do so readily. And you smile and nod with a thank you. And as you do, that cord dissipates, though you know the connection is still there. And the being begins to break up into all these little bubbles again that were in the beginning, the bubble you were sitting in. So once again, you have all these bubbles dancing and floating around you. And once again, you're in awe of just how magical a world we do live in. And as you appreciate that, the bubbles form once again into your bubbles of protection that we started with. And you once again are snug as a bug inside your little protection. And all is well. And you leave the meditation tonight knowing that you have this protection around you at all times. This is not a here tonight, gone after you leave. It's there. All you have to do is visualize it. It's there. Spirit is working on your behalf at all times. Accept it. And your life will change for the better. So I want everybody to begin to focus on your breathing. Intentionally focus on your breathing. As we come back into our awareness of our body, of the room that we're in. When you're ready, begin to wiggle your toes and your fingers just gently, slowly, no sudden movements. Move your shoulders, your upper body shift it a little bit. And when you feel ready to move your neck, because most people do need to move their neck and head after this, just very gently and slowly move that. No fast movements. When you're ready, let's open our eyes and slowly come back to the room that you're sitting in. Moment of now. Yeah, I know it sucks, but we do need to do this. And if you're ready, let me know you're back, because we're going to take a 5-minute break to kind of wake you guys up a little bit. Get your energy all back in there. So can I get a thumbs up or a screen on so I know that you're back with me? So I'm not leaving anybody snoring. It won't be the first time. And we look forward to seeing you at some upcoming things and participate again. And we hope to see you, like I said, again soon. All right. So thank you again, and namaste and blessings to everybody. Have a good week.